scoreboard graphic.
Okay.
No scoreboard graphic, so you have to just pretend like it's a radio. You gotta
Okay.
tell everybody.
Okay.
We're live. Oh, sorry. That's a big deal to us.
Well, welcome to our broadcast of the second game today. It's the second round of the Utah High School State Tournament. The Dons are here playing the Tooele Buffaloes, and in the top of the first, Ty Sorensen was quite dominant, striking out the side, and we are here in the bottom half now. Tay Newman just grounded out to the pitcher for the first out of the inning, and then Andrew Pintar drew a walk, so we are here 0-0 in the bottom of the first. Pintar is on first base with one out. And at the plate now for the Dons is the senior catcher, Josh Cowden. Josh Cowden has a 2-2 count.
Turn up the master volume.
And he hits a fly ball deep to left, and a nice play out there by Brett Portham for the second out of the inning.
There's still a nice swing there by Josh Cowden. He certainly got a nice cut on it, but unfortunately flies it out there to left field. So now 2 outs here in the bottom of the first.
Now up at the plate for the Dons is the junior right fielder, Cy Nielsen. And he takes strike one.
Nielsen was the starter in the earlier game today. Unfortunately had a rough outing as part of that 11-1 loss to Pineview in the first round here of the playoffs. Hopefully can get some things going here at the plate.
And a throw over to first, and Pintar dives back safely. Pitching today for Tooele is Jaden Park. And Pintar is stealing second, and he gets in there safely. Great jump there by Pintar to get into scoring position here with 2 outs. A chance for Cy Nielsen to drive him in with a base hit here.
Nice piece of base running there by Pintar. Able to get a good read on the pitcher, get a good jump, and dives in head first for the stolen base.
And we have a visit out here on the mound. It is very windy out here.
Yeah, we're losing our papers, folks. It's all over the place.
Both these teams lost earlier today. Tooele falling to Bear River 9-0, and the Dons falling to the Pineview Panthers 11-1. In a ground ball over to third, and the throw gets away, and a run will come in to score for the Dons. That is the first run of the game, and Pintar comes in to score on that wild throw from the third baseman.
Bit of an error over there at third base. He's able to field it cleanly, but then on the throw goes a little bit wide of the first baseman, gets away from him, and that's going to be the first run there. Much better start for the Dons than in their previous game.
Yeah, Peyton Shields did a good job of coming up with that ball cleanly, but that throw is quite weak over there to first, and that will lead to the first run today for the Dons. Now at the plate for the Dons is the senior first baseman, Dylan Lee. Dylan Lee had a nice game in the first game, but it'll be interesting to see how he performs in this one.
Absolutely. They definitely need some pop, need some something here from Lee. Hopefully be able to get another runner on base and kind of keep up this 2-out rally.
And Lee swings through that one to fall behind 0-2. Nice job by Jaden Park to get ahead early.
The 0-2 count here for Lee. He's going to need to shorten his swing up, make sure that he protects the plate. Golly, that one was hit a mile in the sky. was able to fight it off. Good job there by Dylan Lee. Digging back in here, hoping to find something good.
And Lee rips one into the left field gap. That is a beautiful hit. It gets by the left fielder, Portum, and the merry-go-round is beginning. Another run will come in, and all the way from first, Cy Nielsen comes around to score a double for Dylan Lee, and that is a 2-0 bottom half here. A good start for the Dons.
Absolutely. This is exactly what the Dons needed, folks. Like such a struggle in the first game to get any kind of rhythm going on offense, and this rip here by Dylan Lee right out into left field. This is exactly what the Dons needed to start off this game. Now up 2-0, and with the other Dylan coming up to plate.
Yeah, the second baseman Dylan Hall now up at the plate. He also had a good game last game. I think he had a double and a single, and he's been one of the bright spots for the Dons today.
Yeah, he was phenomenal in that first game, getting those 2 hits, just lacing them right down the right field line. Nice single, nice double. Absolutely, he definitely could use a repeat performance of that. If he gets a base hit here, hey, maybe we're looking at 3 runs. Good discipline there to not chase that one. That one's always tempting the ball right up at the eyeballs. It looks so big, it looks so juicy, but good job there by Dylan to not pull on that one and just let that one go.
And Hall takes that one just inside to bring the count to 2-0 now.
A nice patient approach here by Hall with a couple of runs already scoring here. No need to necessarily get too aggressive. Just take what the pitcher gives you.
And that ball is fouled off to bring the count to 2-1.
Look out, that was heading right towards the Tooele dugout. Saw the players backing off on that one. That was a screamer.
Yeah, don't want to get in front of that one. That ball was absolutely smoked.
That'll be leaving a bruise.
The 2-1 now to Dylan Hall here with 2 outs in the bottom of the first. 2 runs already across here for the Dons. And Hall rips that one foul as well to bring the count even at 2-2.
A little disappointed in the first base coach there. He had a beat on that ball and he just dropped it.
That's why he's coaching.
That's why he's coaching.
That ball is ripped foul right in our direction again, and that will keep the count even at 2-2. A nice job battling here by Dylan Hall to try to keep this inning alive.
Absolutely, not getting too ahead of himself. He's just kind of fighting off these pitches so far, sending everything like he did in the previous game, just sending everything over towards right field, being able to kind of stay back and wait on the pitch. So we'll see if he can't do the same thing here, find something he likes and shoot it out towards right.
And that pitch is outside to bring the count full. Dylan Hall doing a great job of working the pitcher Jaden Park right here and really hoping to help continue a big inning.
Absolutely, yeah. Not the strongest beginning here for Park, and certainly an opportunity here for Hall to keep this inning going.
And the ball is off the pitcher's glove, and everyone will be safe. That's a tough break for Jaden. Had a good chance to make a play there and get out of the inning. Instead, it bounces off his glove, and we have first and third now with 1 out.
Yeah, an unfortunate play there for Jaden. Gets it right off the glove. Looks like he had it, but then it just kind of careens right off and falls softly right there in the outfield, and got runners on the corners now.
The DH, Sage Olson now. The plate Sage is the only hitter in the lineup now that did not hit in Game 1. He's taking Josh Dart's place, who DH'd back in Game 1. Sage Olson will be DHing in the second one today against Tooele.
Yeah, an interesting choice. Josh Dart, the left-hander, so bringing in the right-hander, obviously with a left-handed pitcher, better odds, you would think.
And Sage Olson takes that first pitch up and away to bring the count to 1-0. And he flies that one down the right field line, but that will get out of play, and that'll bring the count even at 1-1. Again, it really just feels like the Dons have really come to play in this one. After kind of getting slammed 11-1 in that first game, kind of getting that wake-up call in a game that you didn't expect them to lose against a Pineview team that was 5-7 in region, 12-8-1 on the year. Nothing super special, but Pineview came to play today and kind of hit him in the mouth.
They absolutely did. They came out lethargic. Well, at least the Dons did. The Dons definitely came out lethargic in that first game, and it showed.
Since this tournament is double elimination, the Dons will have a chance to fight back from the losers bracket now, as they are facing Tooele in this one, as the count is now 2-1 to the DH Sage Olson. Olson fouls that one off to the right side, and that will bring the count even at 2-2.
Olson had a beat on that one, but was just a little bit behind it. But though with a hit here, we really could keep this inning going, keep it rolling, and really could put Tooele in a little bit of a hole here starting off in the first inning.
And runners on the corners here with 2 outs. 2-2 pitch coming. And the batter, Sage Olson, calls time right before he delivers. He kind of felt like he was taking a while to pitch the ball there, and so he stepped out and decided, I'm going to get a little more comfortable before I take my hacks.
Smart choice, definitely a smart choice. Want to make sure you're comfortable in that batter's box.
And the pitch is just a little outside, and that'll bring the count full at 3-2. And Sage Olson in his first plate appearance today with a base hit. Yeah, like you said, it could be 3-0, and he could really just keep this merry-go-round going.
Certainly what they want to see. See if he can't get a nice swing on this pitch.
And the throw over to first by Jaden Park, and Dylan Hall dives back safely.
Nothing doing there, but obviously wanting to keep him close. Obviously with runners on the corners, you know, getting that extra runner to advance over to second doesn't sound like a great thing for Tooele.
And that ball is fouled off to the first base side to keep the count full. And a nice job battling at the plate here by Sage Olson. Back-to-back at-bats that have gone full. Both Hall and Olson have really battled and done a good job of making the pitcher work.
Absolutely. They're making Park really work, as you said, going deep into these counts and already bringing up that pitch count super high.
And that ball is ripped to second base. But a nice play over there by Clay Freeman, who is also playing for the first time today. Makes a clean play, and that'll end the first inning. But not before the Dons get a few runs across. Only able to score 1 run in the first game today, but in this first inning, in the bottom of the first against Tooele, they had 2 runs come across. They left 1 runner on base, and they lead 2-0 as we head to the second here on SF17.
The best time to check your furnace is before it fails, and you can rely on Triple T to do the job right. Our technicians are trained every year so you can sleep better at night, knowing your furnace is safe to operate. Call Triple T at 798-7711 to schedule your tune-up today.
Nobody plans on getting in an accident, but if it does happen, you can rely on the expertise of Mike McKell to protect and fight for your rights. Specializing in personal injury law, Mike McKell is the attorney you need. Contact Mike at McKell, Christiansen, and Wise.
And we are back here now in the second inning as the Dons lead 2-0 over the Tooele Buffaloes. And Ty Sorensen is on the mound, and he's been dealing so far 3 strikeouts in the first inning, and he's facing number 15, Tyler Beard, the first baseman for the Buffaloes right now.
Yeah, we'll see what Sorensen has here. Obviously striking out the side in the first, like fantastic. See what he's got up his sleeve here in the second.
And he throws him a strike there to bring the count to 2-1 after falling behind 2-0 quickly. He's working really quick, and then another swing and a miss will bring the count even at 2-2 on Tyler Beer.
Sorensen looking great. He's got a great pitch mix in this game. He's really using that fastball, but he also is able to pull the string there with that breaking ball.
And a ball in the dirt to Beer. Beer's having a nice season with a .308 batting average and 19 hits.
Yeah, certainly respectable. Nice season there for Beer.
The full count pitch is swung on and fouled off down the first base line.
I turned it all the way up before the first thing I did.
And so the count will stay full here to Ty Sorensen. And Sorensen, Beer pops it up down the first base line. And that ball is a fair ball, and it is dropped by the first baseman, Dylan Lee. And that will be a double for the Tooele Buffaloes to lead off the top of the second.
Tank, what an unfortunate play there for Lee. He's able to range over there, but the wind kind of catches it back, and it kind of blows back into fair territory. So it goes for the reach for it, but just not really able to get out there, and so it ends up dropping, and that is it's a leadoff runner there. Tyler Beer getting a double off of that.
Up now for the Buffaloes is the right fielder, Griff Bate. His first time up today, and the throw over to second to try to keep Tyler Beer close, and he dives back safely.
Yeah, Sorensen definitely wants him to stay close, not get any kind of extra lead there. That way it'll make it so potentially if there is a base hit, you may be able to keep him at third as opposed to having it be a pretty safe bet that he'd be coming home on any kind of hit.
And a swing and a miss on the fastball to Griff Bate. Ty Sorensen's having a very nice year. He has a 2.74 ERA in 10 appearances. 5-4 record over 38 and a third innings pitched. And 44 strikeouts. That ball is low and in the dirt to bring the count even at 1-1. We're here in the top of the second inning as the Dons lead 2-0. A leadoff double by Tyler Beer got the Buffaloes a base runner, and there are no outs here as Griff Bate bats with a 1-1 count.
See what Sorensen has up his sleeve here.
And that pitch is low and in the dirt, and that will bring the count to 2-1 on Griff Bate. And that ball is ripped foul over towards the Don dugout. Get out. And a 2-2 pitch now from Ty Sorensen to Griff Bate. Runner on second here still with nobody out. And a balk has been awarded. Ty Sorensen going to talk to the umpire to make his case, but Tyler Beer will be moving on down to third now with no outs here in the inning, and a good opportunity for the Buffaloes to get one back here.
Oh, dang, that's unfortunate. Sorensen definitely went up and was going towards the plate, and so it is the right call, unfortunately, for the Dons there. But yeah, certainly having a runner 90 feet as opposed to 180 feet closer, obviously that kind of sucks. So he's right there. Any kind of sac fly here now could potentially score him.
Griff Bates still at the plate, the 2-2 now. And a swing and a miss on the high fastball, and that is the fourth strikeout today for Sorensen, his 48th strikeout on the year.
Absolutely dominant so far in terms of the strikeout. He struck out 4 of the 5 batters he has faced so far today. Sorensen is dealing.
And a first pitch strike to the shortstop, Jackson Minor. Minor's having a fantastic year, hitting .325. And he swings and pops that up to left field. And a nice play out there by Chappell. The runner will tag, and he will hold up. And that is the second out. Interesting decision to not test him there and try to score a run.
Yeah, I felt like that was deep enough. I potentially would have sent him, but, obviously they know something I don't, I guess, over there at third base, so they go ahead and keep him there.
great play by Carson out there on left to get under that ball and get in a position where he could come up throwing. And I think that may have scared the Tooele third base coach into making a move there. The designated hitter Trey Maumasi is at the plate now as he takes ball 1. 2 outs now here in the top of the second. Runner on third. And a swing and a miss on a pitch in the dirt brings the count even at 1-1.
Man, if you're going to be getting swings and misses on pitches like that, it's going to be a great day for you on the mound.
And a breaking ball in the inside corner for a called strike 2, as Maumasi has now swung at a pitch in the dirt and looked at a tough breaking ball, finding himself in a tough 1-2 hole. And that ball is popped foul down the first base line, just out of play.
Trey able to spray that one over towards right field, able to get that one out of play. Certainly able to still get another hack here. We'll see what Sorensen's got dialed up for him. Sorensen, as I've said, he's been absolutely phenomenal. Let's see if he's maybe going to expand the zone a little bit here on this pitch.
And a pitch, ring him up, strike 3 looking. And what an effort by Ty Sorensen, his 5th strikeout of the day. And a runner on third with nobody out, and he is able to get out of it without giving up that run. That's a real rally killer for
Yeah, real rally killer there for the
Buffaloes.
For the Buffaloes, absolutely. Like, what? Wow, I'm so impressed with Sorensen so far. To be able to get 5 strikeouts in 2 innings, that's basically perfect. He has been absolutely phenomenal there on the mound.
And we'd like to take a moment to thank our sponsors for today's game, the Tony Basso Auto Group, Dickerson Automotive, Lance Wilson State Farm, Triple T Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing, Mikhail Christiansen Wise Attorneys at Law, MVP Sports, and Two Jacks Pizza. As we head now to the bottom of the second, it'll be the bottom of the lineup coming up for the Dons, as Carson Chappell, Riley Hess, and then back to the top of the order with Tay Newman are coming up to the plate here. After the Dons put up 2 in the bottom of the first, they look to strike for a few more and kind of try to build on this lead here in the bottom of the second.
Yeah, they certainly could use it. Again, obviously a much better start to this game as opposed to our first game today. Being able to actually, score some runs is definitely a positive here for the Dons. And certainly this is a dangerous bottom half of the lineup. You got Carson Chappell, Riley Hess. These are very capable hitters. So to be able to get these guys on base, turn the lineup over, and be able to start off with Newman and Pintar again, this could potentially be another dangerous inning here for Park.
A quick word on Park, since we didn't have a chance to introduce him back in the first inning, was we were dealing with technical difficulties, but Jaden Park is a senior. He has a 4.38 ERA, and he is 0-1 on the year over 6 appearances. He has 16 innings pitched. He's allowed 10 earned runs, and he has 17 walks and 13 strikeouts. So pretty middle-of-the-road numbers, 4.38 ERA. Not too bad for high school, but definitely not the typical ace that you're hoping to see.
Yeah, not someone that, is going to be locked down necessarily, but hey, he's going to hopefully give them some quality innings here.
And a ball to Carson Chappell here. I guess for the Buffaloes, it's not who they want, but for the Dons, it's definitely who they want to be seeing on the mound right here after a tough game last game. And a quick ball up and in brings the count to 2-0 to Chappell.
You got that right, Elliot. This is certainly a pitcher that the Dons would like to be able to feast off of, like a lefty. A lot of them are right-handed hitters, so hopefully be able to see the ball a little bit better.
Yeah, the advantage definitely goes to the hitter when it's a lefty-righty matchup as opposed to lefty-on-lefty or righty-on-righty, for those of you who don't know that. And ball 4 outside, a 4-pitch walk to Chappell. Definitely not a recipe for success for the Buffaloes if they're going to avoid big innings. You don't want to walk these bottom-of-the-order guys with Newman, Pintar, and Cowden waiting in the lineup.
Oh yeah, you definitely don't want that happening. Giving them free base runners is not going to be that recipe for success as you're talking about.
And Riley Hess squares around to bunt, and he did not pull back in time, and that is strike 1 on Hess. Hess, the senior center fielder for the Dons, is having a very nice year. Hitting 320 in the 9-hole is definitely what you hope for out of that spot. And he squares around to bunt, and it is fouled back. Struggling a little bit to get the bunt down right now.
Yeah, and you can tell because it's in his approach. As he's squaring up to bunt, he's kind of bringing the bat down and then kind of coming up on it, which is what is causing him to pop him up on these. And so now he's got 2 strikes. I would imagine that the coach is going to call off the bunt sign and just going to go ahead and let Riley swing easy and swing free. Though he's got to be cautious here with 2 strikes. Definitely got to approach. So they are not calling off the bunt.
He is still squaring around to bunt with 2 strikes, and he lays it down. What a gutsy move right there. And they throw it over to first, and he did his job. Good job by Riley Hess to get the bunt down and move the runner over to second.
Yeah, he definitely did his job. Not something that I would have thought he would have done because of the first 2 foul balls did not look great, but that one was definitely much better form. Kept himself square and just dropped it down nicely.
And now Chappell moves over to second base as the third baseman, Tay Newman, now steps to the plate. Newman grounded out to the pitcher to start off the last inning. And that pitch is low and in the dirt as the count goes to 1-0.
Nice play there by the catcher. Got to be a brick wall back there, otherwise that runner at second is going to be easily going over to third on a low pitch like that.
And Newman rips it to the shortstop, and it is bobbled, but he comes up with it and makes a nice throw, and Jackson Minor recovers in time to get the out, and that is 2 outs here now in the bottom of the second.
It's a beautiful play. A little bit of a bobble, as you said there, Elliot. Like, didn't quite get as good of leather on it as he would have liked, but hey, he was still able to keep it in front of him, be able to still make the play there. Nice throw on over to first, and also able to keep the runner over at second as well.
Yeah, nice play there by Minor. 2 outs now here in the bottom of the second. Carson Chappell is on second base with the junior shortstop Andrew Pintar at the plate. Pintar walked and then stole second back in the first inning before coming around to score on the error by Peyton Shields for the Buffaloes that brought in the first run.
Yeah, Pintar is a very important part of this Dons lineup. He's a very key role there in that second hole. He's a big table setter, but also has a little bit of power, has a little bit of opportunity here to maybe be the one bringing in the run as opposed to scoring it.
And a ball in the dirt there to bring the count to 2-0 here in the bottom of the second with 2 outs and Andrew Pintar at the plate.
Worked himself into a nice count here, 2-0. Obviously a hitter's count. That way Pintar doesn't necessarily have to be chasing after stuff, can kind of be a little more selective here at the plate.
And ball 3 up and away to Pintar as he has worked himself into a nice 3-0 count here.
Yeah, now it'll be interesting to see what the coaches do here. Traditional wisdom says that you usually want to take on a 3-0 count, which just means that he's not gonna swing at anything. He'll just kind of let the pitcher do his thing, pitch, and if it's a strike, it's a strike, and if it's not, then he gets to go ahead and take first base. So it'll be an interesting choice here for the coaches. Maybe they go ahead and give him the green light, see if he can't get a pitch that he likes and drive it out in the outfield.
And a fastball down the middle to bring it to 3-1, and we got our answer there. He was taking all the way. I think one of the main reasons you can kind of think of that is you think Josh Cowden is on deck. And if first base is open, put him on base, and then Josh Cowden can drive him in.
Oh, absolutely. Cowden is a monster over there. So, I mean, if you can get any people on base for Cowden.
And that ball is ripped foul down the right field line. And that will bring the count full. Nice job by Jaden Park to battle back and throw a couple strikes here to bring the count full.
Yeah, it's never easy when you're down 3-0. Like, you just got to have that mental toughness to be able to be like, okay, it's fine. We're down 3-0. I just got to get over the plate. Just got to throw strikes, you know. Make the hitter put it in play. You've got your pitches. You know what your strengths are, and you just got to go to them when you're down on that 3-0 count. He's done a nice job of doing that.
Full count pitch now coming to Pintar from the senior Buffalo pitcher, Jaden Park. And and it is swung on and missed to end the inning. And a nice job there by Jaden Park to have a bounce back inning. No hits, one runner left on because of the walk, but no runs come across. And through 2 innings here, it's 2-0 Dons over the Buffaloes, and here on SF17.
Hi, welcome to Two Jacks Pizza.
For the best pizza you'll ever taste and our world-famous cheese sticks, come to Two Jacks Pizza on Main Street in Spanish Fork, or call us for a quick delivery. Are you hungry yet?
The best time to check your furnace is before it fails, and you can rely on Triple T to do the job right. Our technicians are trained every year so you can sleep better at night, knowing your furnace is safe to operate. Call Triple T at 798-7711 to schedule your tune-up today.
Welcome back to Spanish Fork 17 on this blustery, windy day out here in St. George. This is game 2 of the state playoffs. We've got the Spanish Dons taking on the Tooele Buffaloes. It's currently 2-0. Spanish Fork scored 2 runs in the bottom of the first, and then both teams went scoreless in the second, as we're now moving on to the top of the third, and Ty Sorensen is getting himself ready for yet another inning.
Yeah, both these teams in the losers bracket. Bear River beating Tooele 9-0 earlier today, and the Dons falling to Pineview, who won state in 2015 and 16, so a good baseball school, and they kind of got hit early and lost that one 11-1 earlier today, but the Dons looking to bounce back in the losers bracket here against the Buffaloes.
That is ripped over towards second base. A nice play there, and that is going to be out number 1 for the Dons.
Yeah, nice play over there by Dylan Hall. Pretty easy routine ground ball, threw it over to Dylan Lee, and 1 pitch, 1 out for Ty Sorensen here in the top of the third.
Absolutely super effective there for Sorensen as it gets Clay Freeman out, and that now brings up Dalton Harris, the center fielder. Waves at that low ball there for strike 1. Gives the 0-1 count. Gets another swing and miss there for strike 2. Harris is the number 8 hitter for the Buffaloes. He looks at that one low and outside for ball 1.
Harris in 16 games played so far this year is batting .250 with 9 hits, 8 runs scored, and 5 RBIs.
And that is strike 3. Catcher's able to hang on to that one, and that, man, Ty Sorensen is having himself quite a game, Elliot.
Yeah, foul tipped it into the catcher's glove. Nice catch by Josh Cowden, and through 2 2/3. That's 6 strikeouts for Ty Sorensen.
Absolutely amazing. That one is low for ball 1 to Hayden Goins, the catcher. My mistake, that is not the catcher. That is the leadoff hitter, Brett Porthen, number...
It is the catcher. It is Caden Goins.
Oh, Caden Goins. My mistake. This is what happens when you come late, folks.
And a ball low and in the dirt to bring the count to 2-1 on Caden.
One count here. That one is also in the dirt for ball 3. Checks a swing, but it doesn't matter. That is a strike, and that moves our count over to full. It's a full count. And that is strike 3. Ty Sorensen is having himself a ball game, folks. My goodness.
Yeah. 7 strikeouts through 3 innings, and the Dons look like they mean business here in the second game today.
They are looking phenomenal. Ty Sorensen is absolutely dealing on the mound as we move over to the bottom of the third, folks. And this is a good time for us to remind you of our awesome sponsors. We got the Tony Basso Auto Group, Dickerson Automotive, State Farm, Lance Wilson, Triple T, Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing, Mikkel Christiansen, Wise, Attorneys at Law, MVP Sports, and Two Jacks Pizza.
Well, as we head now to the bottom of the third, a little bit of a game recap. On the defensive side of things, Ty Sorensen has been absolutely dealing. 7 strikeouts, only allowing 1 hit and 1 base runner on that little bloop double to lead off the second from Tyler Beer. But other than that, the Don's defense has really held Tooele in check. And on the offensive side of things, in the top of the first, a 1-out walk drawn by Andrew Pintar, a stolen base, and then an error by the third baseman, Peyton Shield, was able to bring in that first run, and then Dylan Hall was able to single in Dylan Lee for that second run.
Yeah, we'll see what Jaden Park has in store here for the Dons in the bottom of the third. We've got the heart of the order coming up for the Dons. We got Josh Cowden, Cy Nielsen, and Dylan Lee. Should be an interesting half inning here. We'll see if the Dons can't put together another rally here like they did in the first. As I said, Josh Cowden is starting the hitting off here in the bottom of the third for the Dons. And he lays down a bunt. The pitcher's able to get to it, and that is going to be out number 1.
Interesting choice there. You have your power hitter, your number 3 hitter who's hit 5 homers on the year, arguably your strongest, one of your better hitters on the team, and no outs, nobody on base, and he squares around to bunt.
Yeah, interesting choice. I wonder if it's because they thought they were going to be able to, catch him off guard a little bit, but unfortunately for Cowden, he basically shot that straight at the pitcher, so really not catching anyone necessarily off guard on that one, as this now brings up Cy Nielsen, the right fielder and cleanup hitter for the Dons. And that one is skipping into the catcher in the dirt for ball 1.
Nielsen last game went 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts, and he did score that 1 run on the hit by pitch at the end of the game, but other than that, not much offense from Nielsen in game 1.
Yeah, which is unfortunate because he also had a kind of a rough day on the mound as well earlier this morning. So hopefully he can get things a little bit going here. He did score this in the first. He was one of the 2 runs in the first. So hopefully he's able to keep things going, as that is going to be a strike. Swinging at that one. That is now a 2-1 count here to Cy Nielsen. Jaden Park still on the mound here for Tooele on this 2-1 count. And that is going to be outside for ball 3.
Yeah, tried to catch him with the fastball on the outside right there, and he just couldn't quite hit the corner, and next thing you know, he's looking at a 3-1 hole.
Certainly a favorable count here for Cy Nielsen. 3-1 count. Instead, he swings at the high cheddar for strike 2, and we've got a full count.
The Dons coach really has to be angry at some of the pitch selection that these Dons hitters have had over these 2 games today. They have swung at so many pitches above their heads, and these could be walks or working themselves into good hitting situations, and instead they're putting themselves in tougher situations.
Thankfully for Nielsen, that one is low, and he's going to take that for ball 4, as the leadoff runner is now on base for the Dons here in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Brings up first baseman Dylan Lee, another one of those power hitters for the Dons.
Dylan Lee also had a single in that 5th inning, part of that rally where they scored 1 run and struck out and grounded out in his other 2 plate appearances. And that ball is clobbered. See you later. Woo! Dylan Lee goes yard, and that is a 2-run jack. 4-0 now for the Dons, and what a momentum killer right there.
Oh, that is absolutely huge for the Dons, being able to have that one parked. Dylan Lee, he'd been heating up recently. He actually had a home run in our broadcast last week, and so Dylan Lee certainly bringing the boom in this game, and now that brings the score to 4-0 in favor of the Spanish Fork Dons. Let's get a replay of that. That was so fantastic as we see Lee trotting the base here, getting the high five from the third base coach, and then, of course, the helmet comes off, jumping, tapping, loving it. The teammates are all loving that one, as that score is, as I said, now 4-0 Dons. And that brings up Dylan Hall. That one is low for ball one.
That was the second homer of the season for Dylan Lee, and he absolutely launched that ball. The left fielder, Brett Portham, turned around to look like he was going to make a play on it, and immediately stopped and just watched that ball go flying over his head.
He's just like, no way, it's not happening. And Dylan Lee swings at that one low, and that is strike one. Brings the count even. Dylan Hall. These Dylans, they get me all confused. Dylan Lee's the one that just homered. Dylan Hall is the one currently up.
For some reason, they always like to hit back-to-back in the order.
For some reason. Who does this? Who's doing this to me?
Dylan Hall singled back in the first inning, driving in Dylan Lee.
Thus far, it has been the Dylan show. That is for sure. As that one is taken upstairs for ball two.
Yeah, Dylan Hall got the RBI single last inning, so this inning, Dylan Lee was like, I want some of the love too.
Get me in on that action, that's for sure. That one is very much upstairs for ball three. As Dylan Hall's worked himself into a nice 3-1 count.
It is 4-0 here in the bottom of the third. There is one out, and we have a 3-1 count now coming.
And that is ripped over towards first base. First base is able to glove it. Hands it over to the pitcher, and that is going to be a very nice play there for the Buffaloes.
Yeah, Tyler Beer did a great job of ranging over there, making that play. And then just like they teach you as a pitcher, Jaden Park did a great job of getting over there, fielding that ball, and making that play look relatively simple.
Yeah, did what he was supposed to do. Certainly beautiful defense, and that is now 2 outs here in the bottom of the third, and it brings up Sage Olson, the designated hitter for the Dons. That one is upstairs for ball one. Olson worked it into a full count in his first at-bat, but did eventually ground out to the second baseman in the first inning. Backs away from that one, but it is still called a strike. Park is able to paint the corner on that one. Moves it to a 1-1 count. Sage Olson takes a cut at that one, but he misses for strike two.
Olson didn't play in the first game today, the only hitter in the lineup now that was not in the game in game one, and he grounded out to second back in the first inning.
Backs away from that one. That one gets past the catcher. And that's going to be ball two.
No one on base here, though, so doesn't affect him that the catcher couldn't make the play.
Yep. So remember, Josh Dart was the one that was the designated hitter in the first game, and so the right-handed Olson getting the start here against the left-handed pitcher. Got the 2-2 count here. Again, it is the bottom of the fourth inning. We got 4-0 in favor of the Dons over the Buffaloes. And here comes that 2-2 pitch. And that is going to be low for ball three as Sage Olson works it over to a full count.
Dart did not have a bad game in the first game. He drew a walk. He went 1 for 2 with a single. Had a lot of quality at bats, but based on the matchup here in today's game, it makes sense they'd want to go with Olson here.
It does. And he swings at that one for strike three. Sage Olson takes a big hack, but he does go down on strikes to Park, and that is going to end the third inning. The Dons were able to score those 2 runs off the Dylan Lee home run, the 2-run bomb out to left field. And we have 4-0 here. Spanish Fork over Tooele, heading over into the fourth. Thank you so much for joining us here on Spanish Fork 17.
Wild Mustangs. They're supposed to be one of the most gentle creatures in nature.
State Farm knows that for every one of those moments, there's one of these. That's why more people save money by combining their home and auto with State Farm.
Call State Farm agent Lance Wilson today.
MVP Sports is the #1 source for sporting goods in Spanish Fork. Football, soccer, all the fall sports, we've got you covered. Check out our new custom t-shirt builder. Design at home and we'll build it for you. MVP Sports, 72 North Main in Spanish Fork.
Welcome back here on SF-17. It is 4-0. The Dons lead the Buffaloes as we head now to the top for 2 runs for the Dons in the bottom of the first, and then 2 more runs on 1 mammoth shot in the bottom of the third. They only had 1 hit all inning, but it was a big one coming off the bat of Dylan Lee.
Holy crap, was it a thing of beauty. He just absolutely rocked that particular pitch, and that's going to give Ty Sorensen a nice cushion, though. At the pace that he's pitching, I don't even know if he needs that cushion. He has been absolutely lights out in this game.
Yeah, only 1 base runner so far for the Dons today. And the batter at the plate now is the pitcher, Jaden Park. And he takes the pitch for strike 1.
Yeah, big old cut on that one.
0-2 now on Park.
Park, like so many other Tooele batsmen, was a strikeout victim.
And he takes that pitch up and away. Yeah, that's not an uncommon theme that we're going to see through this lineup as we go through the second time, as 7 of them struck out the first time through.
Yep.
And he just gets a piece to stay alive. Jaden Park battling at the plate now.
Yeah, and he absolutely needed that one. He was able to get a cut on it and just get just enough of the baseball to make it so Cowden wasn't able to squeeze that one.
And that pitch is ripped past the diving Dylan Lee at first base, and that is an opening base hit to start off the top of the 4th here. And a nice bat by Jaden Park.
Yeah, very, very cool, collected. Obviously, he was down in the count there with a 1-2 count, but he was able to still stay with it, able to rip it right down the right field line, and that's a great piece of hitting there. A nice beginning to the inning here for the Buffaloes.
And we have a pinch runner coming in for the Buffaloes here, trying to give Park a little bit of rest as he's also pitching today. They want to make him deal with running the bases as well, as the sophomore Thevenot is now on first base. And up at the plate now for the Tooele Buffaloes is Peyton Shields, the 3rd baseman. He rips that ball foul to fall behind 0-2.
That one had an interesting sound. And once again, Sorensen is just dominating here on the mound, getting really, really good first pitch strikes, tons of first pitch strikes, and he's really able to stay in front of these Buffalo hitters.
Yeah, 0-2 now to Peyton Shields. And they throw over, and Jaden Park barely dives back safely. Sorry, not Jaden Park, Thevenot, the sophomore pinch runner, dives back safely.
That was a nice pickoff move there by Sorensen. Almost got him again.
And doing his best to keep Thevenot close. 0-2 coming still to Shields. And that pitch is grounded to the shortstop, and he only has 1 play. Pintar throws over to first for the first out of the inning. And there's 1 down here as Jaden Park moves over to second.
Yeah, it was a nice play there by Pintar. He was kind of dragged away from second base there, so clearly not really a good play there at second base. Is able to kind of get himself collected and sends the throw on over to first to get the sure out.
Tyler Beer at the plate now. The first baseman had a little blue double down the right field line his last time up, the only hit through the order the first time through. And he takes the breaking ball low and inside for strike 1.
What a fantastic pitch there by Sorensen. Absolutely paints the corner there, gets it nice, buries it deep. That's exactly what you want to do with a breaking ball.
And strike 2 there to Beer as again the count goes 0-2, and it just feels like a complete flip from last game, Andrew. Every count last game, Cy Nielsen and Mason Nielsen seemed to be going 3 balls, 3-0, 3-1, 3-2, falling behind almost every batter. And today's game, Sorensen's just been getting ahead, and a nice hit there from Beer up the middle, and that'll drive in the first run for the Buffaloes. As Jaden Park comes around to score, he dives in home, a little celebratory dive. Definitely not necessary there, but the Buffaloes are happy to be on the board.
Oh, you know that's right. And hey, you know what? Have some fun out there. Like, you know, you don't know if the throw is coming necessarily, so he gets himself nice and dirty, and at the very least it's like, hey, I'll be doing some work here. And so it's a nice little badge of honor there for him. So nice piece of hitting there by Beer, and gets the Buffaloes on the board.
Yeah, Thevenot pinch running, that's his opportunity today. He doesn't get to hit, or he's not playing defense, so when he gets in the game, he's running hard and he's diving. At the plate now for the Buffaloes is the right fielder Griff Bates, a strikeout victim back in the second.
Again, wasn't everybody. Man, Sorensen was absolutely dealing, and still has a nice game here going. Just needs another out here to get it. Needs a couple more outs here to get out of this inning.
And fouled back to bring the count to 1-1. Yeah, this has been the first inning where he's really had to work. A couple base hits off of him, only 1 hit in the previous 3 innings, but only 1 run across so far, and the Dons still lead 4-1 here in the top of the 4th.
Yeah, so he just needs to take a breather here, get collected. No big deal. You still got a 3-run cushion.
And the pitch gets away from Josh Cowden, and that's a rarity. And Tyler Beer will move on down to second. What did you see there?
Yeah, it was kind of unfortunate. It looks like Cowden was potentially in a decent position, but didn't quite get that glove down, so it snuck past him. Unfortunate. Puts runner in scoring position.
And that ball is ripped foul to bring the count at 2-2. Yeah, another good opportunity for the Buffaloes to drive in a run now as they have a runner over on second base here with only 1 out. Right fielder Griff Bates at the plate. 1 run already in this inning on 2 hits. Tyler Beer is on second. And strike 3 looking to Bates, and he goes down for the second time today on strikes. 2 outs now here in the top of the 4th.
As the 8th strikeout there for Ty Sorensen. Man, he is just he's making it easy out there for his defense, just getting the outs all by himself.
And a swing and a miss on the breaking ball, and the shortstop Jackson Miner was a mile ahead of that one.
Absolutely, that's what happens when you pull the string. His fastball's been popping so hard. They're just trying to get out in front of it. Instead, he's able to throw in that nice breaking ball, and oh, mercy. That was not the best looking swing there.
And a swing and a miss brings the count to 0-2.
Both of these swings have not exactly been competitive swings here for Miner. 0-2 count. He's got to choke up and got to make sure to protect the play here. See what Sorensen dials up for him.
And that ball is blooped over to Pintar. He charges and makes a nice throw over to Lee to end the inning. And that will do it for the top of the 4th. A nice play by Pintar. Pintar charging that ball there and throwing it over to Lee.
Absolutely, textbook play. Kind of just like the one that he had similar, you know, kind of dragging him away a little bit, kind of taking the momentum away from the bag that he's throwing to, but he was able to set his feet enough, kind of get that nice side arm throw, and gets that last out.
Well, for the Buffaloes in the top half of the 4th, they scored 1 run on 2 hits. They had 1 runner left on base. It is 4-1 now as we head to the bottom of the 4th, and we'd like to take a moment to thank some of our amazing sponsors. The Tony Basso Auto Group, Dickerson Automotive, Lance Wilson State Farm, Triple T Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing, MVP Sports, Mikkel Christiansen Wise Attorneys at Law, and 2 Jacks Pizza. Well, as we head now to the bottom of the 4th, it's 4-1 Dons. The Dons scoring 2 in the bottom of the 1st and then 2 more in the bottom of the 3rd. Buffalo's fighting and getting 1 back in the top of the 4th. And Jaden Park is still out there on the mound for the Buffaloes, looking to work another inning for Tooele.
Yeah, Jaden Park hasn't, like, obviously they're down 4-1, but to be fair, and to be fair to Park here, like, it hasn't been a terrible outing for him. He has been pretty decent. Like, it's just the bats have finally woken up a little bit here for the Dons after they were ice cold in the game this morning against Pineview. And so this was kind of, to be fair, I expected this. So Park is doing about as well as I thought he was going to in this game.
Yeah, this is a winner-go-home game in the first round of the losers bracket, basically, here in this 4A high school state tournament. Both teams losing earlier today and needing a win today to bounce back to make a trip down here again next Wednesday.
Yeah, absolutely. They don't want to miss out on coming back down here to St. George for the rest of the tournament.
And at the plate now for the Dons is the senior left fielder, Carson Chappell. And he takes ball one, low in the dirt. Chappell worked a walk his first time up on 4 pitches. And another pitch high. Chappell yet to see a good pitch in this game today. 6 pitches, 6 balls, and you know he's got to be hungry for that pitch when he gets one.
Oh, absolutely. I would be absolutely dying at this point. He's good for him for being patient up there.
And that pitch almost hits him, and the ump is awarding him first base. It just caught the back of his left heel, and he jogs down to base. Barely clipped him if it did get him, and that's the best way to get hit right there.
Well, absolutely. Yeah, if you're gonna get hit, let it be just a little minor thing. Have it just like kind of barely nick you. Like, for me, the best one is like when it just kind of clips your jersey, and it's like, well, it got me, but like it really didn't get me. Nice job there by Chappell.
Yeah, Chappell's still yet to see a strike today on 7 pitches.
Jeez.
He's been on base twice. And a bunt attempt by Riley Hess, the senior center fielder, before he pulls back and takes ball one. Hess had a sac bunt his last time up, moving Carson Chappell over to second.
And it was a little scary, actually. Did the bunt on an 0-2 count, which if he'd fouled it off, he'd have struck out. But here comes the bunt again.
And it is fouled back to bring the count to 1-1. Again, Chappell struggling to get the bunt down here, but last time he was successful, so you can't complain for him not getting the job done.
Absolutely, yeah. Hess was successful. Like, again, scary in the minds of a coach a little bit, but hey, he laid it down.
And he lays down a bunt, but that will roll foul down the first base line, and the count goes to 1-2.
It was nice for him. He just unfortunately pushed it a little bit too far there, and so it ended up going foul. But it was a nice execution. He was able to get on top of the ball, which is exactly what you want to do with a bunt. So we'll see if he still has the bunt sign here again with 2 strikes.
If you're Coach Nelson right here, are you having him bunt again?
Oh, man. Maybe. I mean, he did lay down the other one.
Incorrect answer, and he takes it for ball 2.
This is why I'm not coaching, folks. What do I know?
The 2-2 now to Hess. Carson Chappell on first after reaching on the hit by pitch to lead off the bottom of the 4th. And that pitch is outside to bring the count full.
Man, with the way that Hess reacted, I almost thought he struck out. Kind of froze there a little bit. I was like, oh man, but they called it a ball. Certainly a nice pitch there by Park. I'm sure he wanted that one.
As a hitter, there's nothing better than getting another life. And he swings and misses, and there will be no second life after that one as Hess goes down swinging. And he gets out for the first time today, as there's now 1 out here in the bottom of the 4th.
He did do a good job of working that to a full count, but then just kind of waved at that one and didn't really get a good swing on it. So now we're moving over to the top of the order.
And that pitch is low and in the dirt to bring the count to 1-0. The junior third baseman Tay Newman at the plate now for the Dons.
What an absolutely wonderful play by Goins there. That was a sharp bounce there and able to keep that one in. That was pretty impressive.
And that ball is driven out to left, and that is a base hit for Newman. As we now have runners on first and second. Chappell moving over to second. Newman on first, and we have runners on first and second here with one out.
Very nice. Nice piece of hitting there by Newman, able to kind of stay back, keep his hands nice and loaded, nice and through the zone, and just pops it right over the infield, and we've got runners on first and second. Potentially have a rally here for the Dons.
Pintar went 1 for 3 with a bunt single back in the first game earlier today. He is 0 for 1 so far today, as he takes ball 1 low into the dirt. And again, a nice block over there by Caden Goings to keep that ball in front of him.
It's been a busy day for him, that's for sure. And again, on a hot day like this, man, it's always hard to play catcher. But man, he's done a fantastic job back there.
And that ball is ripped foul down the left field line. And that will bring the count even at 1-1.
Oh, that's heartbreaking. Pintar thought he had that one. That was right down the line, and it just right by the bag, squeaks by, and it's just, oh, that's always unfortunate. That one always gets you as a hitter.
The foul lines have not been friendly to the Dons today.
They haven't.
Cy Nielsen barely missed a grand slam earlier today. Just foul, and their opponents have had multiple hits that have landed just inside the line on both sides.
Yeah, had one just these past couple innings. Had that one that Lee ranged out to, and it snuck back fair on him.
And that ball is slammed to center field, and it is in the gap, and that is going to the wall. And one run will score. Newman's coming around to score as well. And that is a 2-run double for Andrew Pintar, as both Newman and Chappell come around to score, and it is now 6-2. It is now, the scoreboard is showing it wrong. It is now 6-1 for the Dons over the Buffaloes.
Yeah, eventually the scoreboard will get it figured out. But man, what a shot there by Pintar. Absolute laser beam out into the gap there. Fantastic piece of hitting. Dons have got to definitely be pleased with Pintar's performance thus far in the couple games that we've had today in the tournament.
And it looks like we are going to have a pitching change here for the Buffaloes. Jaden Park just ran out of gas here. He threw 3 1/3 plus innings, gave up 6 runs, all of them earned. Sorry, 5 of them earned, one of them scoring on that error back in the first inning. But overall, a solid outing until this last inning, until it kind of unraveled a little bit, and the Dons are starting to break this game open a little bit as they're now up 6-1, and the big bats of Cowden, Nielsen, and Lee coming up.
Oh, yeah, this is exactly the people in the order that you want up to be able to just kind of break this game completely open. Obviously, being able to put up 2 runs in each of the innings except for the second, definitely a much better offensive performance than in their first game, and they're getting contributions from a lot of players here today on the offensive side of things, and one of the few that actually really hasn't done too much contributing is Cowden, which I kind of expect him to be someone that could potentially help the Dons really break this one open.
Well, like I said a moment ago, we have a pitching change for the Buffaloes. The senior Ryan Peterson is coming into the game for Tooele, and he has a 3.85 ERA in 6 appearances on the year. He is 2-0 over 23 2/3 innings pitched. He has allowed 18 runs, 13 of those earned, walked 12, and struck out 24. So that's kind of the line of what we expect to see from Peterson here. But what do you kind of think he needs to do to be able to kind of bounce back here and get out of this inning?
Throw strikes. I know that always sounds cliche and that it always sounds like so easy, but it is just that. It's like, make sure that you get the ball over the plate. Like, part of the issue here is that they have been a little bit wild, and so if they're able to kind of calm things down, just kind of make sure to get the ball over the plate and make sure to attack when you can while you're on the mound. That's going to be the key for them, and it's again, easier said than done. We got the heart of the order for the Dons coming up, and so hopefully for him, he's able to kind of take a breather and just kind of do his thing. sometimes you kind of get stuck in your head as a pitcher and you're just like, oh man, I'm coming into this crazy situation. But, just take the time to realize that you're good. There's a reason why you're on the mound. Go prove it.
And the batter at the plate, as we mentioned a moment ago, is Josh Cowden. And Cowden takes ball 1 in the dirt. Cowden is 0 for 2 on the day. And a fly ball to right back in the first and a grounder to the pitcher in the third inning today. 2 runs already across here in the bottom of the fourth as the Dons lead 6-1. And that ball is drilled out to right field, and it is caught by the right fielder, Griff Bate. Nice play out there. And that is 2 outs here now in the bottom of the fourth.
An absolute laser there hit by Cowden, but unfortunately for him, it is a laser right at the right fielder, Griff Bate, and he does come in, make a nice play, and now you're only 1 out away from potentially getting out of this inning that's been trouble.
Yeah, definitely not Josh Cowden's day. He's hit the ball hard a couple times today and has nothing to show for it. At the plate now for the Dons is the right fielder, Cy Nielsen. Nielsen has reached on both of his plate appearances today, walking back in the third and reaching on an error back in the first that brought in that first run of today's game.
Yeah, if you're going to be scored on both plate appearances, certainly the Dons have got to be happy about that, 2 for 2 in that sense.
And that ball is fouled back to the right side to bring the count to 0-2 on Nielsen.
Man, Nielsen has really been a victim of that high pitch. Like, he's been swinging and missing that, and this time he swings at it, but he gets way under it, which is why he popped it up behind the plate. And so, man, he's just got to lay off those high ones.
Pintar on second, having the 2 RBI double earlier this inning. 2 outs now as Cy Nielsen is at the plate. And the 0-2 catches the corner for strike 3 looking. And a nice job by Peterson coming in relief there. The senior showing some leadership.
That's what you got to do. Your number gets called as a pitcher, as a relief pitcher. You better come in and you better put the fire out. And that's exactly what Peterson did right there.
And in a winner-go-home situation for Tooele, their senior pitcher coming on strong, saying, we're not going down without a fight. But the Dons had a nice inning there, scoring 2 runs in the bottom of the fourth, adding to their lead as they lead 6-1 after 4 here on SF17.
Need a new car or truck? The Car Guys has the best selection of used vehicles at the best prices in Spanish Fork. The Car Guys know their automobiles to get you the best car for your needs and your budget. The Car Guys at 872 North Main in Spanish Fork.
Back to Spanish Fork 17 on this blowy, windy day here in St. George. The flag is freaking blowing out there in center field. It has been nuts, which is why you're hearing all the wind sound in our mics. It is currently 6-1 heading over here into the 5th inning. It is 6-1 Spanish Fork over Tooele. The Dons have scored 2 runs in the first, 2 in the third, and 2 in this last half inning in the fourth. Tooele did scratch across a run in the top of the fourth, but once again, Ty Sorensen is on the mound, and that is a pop-up. And Tay Newman is able to range over there, and he gets it, and that is going to be out number 1. Quick and easy for the Dons.
Yeah, nice quick out for Sorensen, and he's done a really good job of getting ahead early in the count today and then forcing the Buffalo hitters to swing at bad pitches.
Absolutely. It's been a gem of an outing out there for Sorensen, as that is strike 1 to Clay Freeman, second baseman for the Buffaloes, who grounded out to second base in the third in his first at bat. And he has caught swinging on a just absolutely filthy pitch there by Sorensen. That is a quick 0-2 count there for Trey. not Trey, Clay. My mistake, Clay Freeman. Clay. And that is going to be just outside for ball one. Sorensen continuing to look like he is in command. Oh, and he gets Clay to swing on just an absolutely ugly one, and they are able to send that one over to first, and that is going to be out number 2 and strikeout number 9 for Sorensen.
Yeah, Sorensen has definitely been the stopper today. After a rough first game, he's come in and just said, hey, we're not messing around anymore. We can't lose anymore, and we're just gonna go play our best baseball. Absolutely. With our backs against the wall.
He said this one is my game, and he has certainly showed it. That is going to be ball one low in the dirt there to Dalton Harris. That one is going to be just inside and low for ball 2. Harris now working a 2-0 count. We got 2 outs already here in the top of the 5th. That one is also going to be low for ball 3, and this is a rarity here for Sorensen in this game.
Yeah, first 3-0 count today for Sorensen. Not his first 3-ball count. I think this is his third 3-ball count today, but definitely not something we've seen much as he walks him on 4 pitches there.
Wow, completely uncharacteristic for what Sorensen has been doing today, and that is going to be a base runner there for the Buffaloes. Looks like we're going to have a pinch runner. Sorensen gets ready here to pitch to Caden Goins. Goins takes a big hack at that one, and that is going to be strike 1.
So Goins is actually not hitting in today's game. It is Brett Portum.
It's Brett Portum
that is at the plate. He has struck out in both of his plate appearances today in the first and in the third inning.
Yes, he has.
And as you mentioned a moment ago, there is a pinch runner. It is the senior Thevenot who came around to score back last inning for the Buffaloes.
Ah, the good luck charm. Poof, and that is going to be double-digit strikeouts for Ty Sorensen as he gets Parham to go down on strikes. Ty Sorensen continues to be dealing out there on the mound as he puts up another offer on the scoreboard there for the Dons, and it is now 6-1, still heading over to the bottom half of the 5th inning here.
Yeah, 10 strikeouts now for the Don's pitcher, Ty Sorensen, and he has just been absolutely dominant. And thanks to Brett Portum, he keeps helping him out. That's 3 strikeouts today for Portum. And as we head now to the bottom of the 5th, it is 6-1. We'd like to take a moment to thank our sponsors, the Tony Basso Auto Group, Dickerson Automotive, Lance Wilson State Farm, Triple T Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing, Mikkel Christiansen Wise Attorneys at Law, MVP Sports, and Two Jacks Pizza. As we head now to the bottom of the 5th, the senior pitcher, Ryan Peterson, is back out there on the mound for the Buffaloes, and he did a great job of cleaning up that mess with Pintar in second and 2 runs already in, coming in and getting both Cowden and Nielsen out.
Yeah, Peterson really has been phenomenal. As you can see here, we are 6-1, as we said. It's the Spanish Fork Dons over the Tooele Buffaloes thus far, and it has been a windy day. Like I said, you can hear that in our mics. The wind has been absolutely crazy. Our papers are blowing all over the place, but hey, we're loving this. It's a beautiful day out at the ballpark, and we now have Dylan Lee is going to be coming up here for the Dons. So we've got the 4, 5, my mistake, the 5, 6, and 7 hitters coming up here for the Dons, coming up against the senior Ryan Peterson, who, as Elliot mentioned, did a phenomenal job coming in this past inning to kind of close the door on the Dons. Here comes the first pitch. And that is going to be in the dirt for ball 1.
And what a day for Dylan Lee so far. A RBI double back in the first inning, and then an absolute mammoth shot over the left field wall for a 2-run homer in the third.
And he's definitely seeing the ball well in this particular game as Peterson winds up here for the 1-0 pitch. And that is going to be upstairs for ball 2 to Dylan Lee.
It's no surprise that even though it's a new pitcher in there now, they're being a little bit careful with him falling behind 2-0, not wanting to give him anything too good to hit. But when they have thrown him something to hit today, it's gone a long ways.
Oh yeah, he's absolutely matched it when they've given it to him. Here's the 2-0. And once again, it is mashed, and it is heading down the line. And that is going to hit the wall as Dylan Lee is rumbling on into second, and he is turning the corner for third, and that is going to be a triple for Dylan Lee. What a ball game for him so far. A double, a home run, and a triple thus far. All he's got left to do is hit the easy one, the single, and he's got the cycle in this game.
Yeah, well, what a day by Dylan Lee. Off the bat, that looked like it might have a shot at getting out of the park. Hit up the top of the wall, a couple feet away from going over the fence, and Dylan Lee has really been a thorn in the side for these Buffaloes today. And with no outs now, they have a runner on third.
And that is definitely how to do it. Absolute beautiful piece of hitting there by Dylan Lee, which brings up now the other Dylan Hall. He's going to take that one right down the pipe for strike one.
As you can imagine, with Dylan being a little bit of a bigger guy, much more of a power hitter, he does not have any triples on the year, so that was his first triple of the season coming today.
Way to go. Way to leg that out. In fact, they're going to give him a breather. They're actually going to pinch run for him, which makes sense after legging out that triple.
Yeah, Bennett into pinch run number 9 for the Dons.
Got the 1-0 count here to Dylan Hall. Ryan Peterson on the mound for the Buffaloes. Once again, it is 6-1 in favor of the Dons here in the 5th inning, the bottom of the 5th. He's able to check his swing on that one. It does squirt away from Goins, but not quite enough for Bennett to potentially score on that one as he stays over there at third.
Yeah, with 2 outs, you probably push the envelope there a little and try to score that run. But with nobody out and a runner on third, and Dylan Hall at the plate, there's really no reason to risk trying to send him home there.
Yeah, no real purpose there. Here's the 1-1. That one's also in the dirt. It is able to be fielded cleanly enough there by Goins as that moves the count to 2-1 for Dylan Hall.
Hall had a RBI single back in the first, driving in Dylan Lee, and then grounded out to the pitcher in the third. So 1 for 2 on the day.
500, that's pretty good. All right, here's the 2-1 pitch here to Hall. And that is absolutely mashed out into left field, and that is also going to be over the fence, and that is a 2-run shot by the other Dylan Hall. It is indeed the Dylan show here for the Spanish Fork Dons. An absolute bomb out to left, and that is going to make it 8-1 Dons over Tooele thus far.
Yeah, see you later baseball right there. Wow, what a shot over the left field fence, and the Dons are just rolling over the Buffaloes here now, steadily putting up on about 2 runs an inning. 2 in the first, 2 in the third, 2 in the fourth, and then 2 more in the 5th.
Yeah, certainly consistent, that is for sure. Other than that second inning, it has been 2 runs in every single bottom half of the inning thus far for the Dons. So definitely a much better performance from them, again, as I've said like probably a million times, than their first game here against Pineview. As we now have Sage Olson up at the plate. He takes that one low and in the dirt for ball 1.
Well, like we've been saying, the Dylan shows really showed up today. Dylan Lee and Dylan Hall responsible for 6 of the 8 runs for the Dons so far in today's game.
Here's the 1-0. That's going to be just a bit outside for ball 2. And Sage Olson coming into play this one. He didn't play in the previous game. We had Josh Dart over at DH, but with the lefty starting the game, they decided to have Olson play in this one. So here's the 2-0. And that is going to be low and outside for ball 3. He's worked himself into a nice 3-0 count.
Yeah, when you give up a triple that almost goes over the fence, and then you give up a homer, you tend to be a little bit more skeptical on the mound with the pitches that you're throwing.
Absolutely. A little bit unsure of yourself after 2 absolute just ripped shots. Here's the 3-0. And that is going to be outside, and that is 4 stray balls there to Sage Olson as he gets the walk.
It is 8-1 here in the bottom of the fifth as we have another meeting out on the mound as the Buffalo's head coach Nolan Stouter goes out there to talk to his pitcher Peterson and try to calm him down after kind of losing control here for a few batters.
Yeah, he absolutely got rocked on those two hits by the Dillons, that triple and that home run. So certainly probably just whispering some words of reassurance over to him. Just be like, hey, just do your thing, pitch your pitches. Like, don't worry about that. Everybody gives up big hits every now and then. Just be you. Just go ahead and pitch how you know how to pitch, and just go ahead and calm it down and relax.
Yeah, a lot of people have been hit hard by both Dylan Lee and Dylan Hall at one point during this season.
No
so
kidding.
there's no shame in giving up hits to them. And we have to remember Peterson did a great job last inning coming in with one out in a tough situation and getting back-to-back outs with both Cowden and Nielsen to get out of that jam. But this inning, it's really been the Dons hitters just all over Peterson. Is 2 runs in so far, still nobody out, and Olsen on first.
And there's definitely still opportunity here for the Dons to just really break this one even further open with Carson Chappell up at the plate. Chappell takes a big cut at that one, and that is strike 1. Chappell was hit by a pitch in his last at-bat, just barely nicked his ankle there, and then he did take a walk in the second inning as well, so he's been on base. Been on base every time so far. He chops that one right in front of the plate, and that is going to go foul. An early 0-2 hole here for Chappell.
We talked about this earlier with Chappell, but coming into this at bat, he'd seen 7 straight balls in today's game, and so it makes sense that as he comes up to the plate this time, those first 2 pitches that he sees that look good from Peterson, he was all over because he's excited to see something he could hit.
Right? Yeah. Like just super excited. Like I said, I don't blame him at all. Definitely up there hacking. Here's that 0-2 pitch. That one is going to be upstairs for ball 1.
As a hitter, too, after seeing your teammates absolutely demolish baseballs in front of you, it makes you even more excited and tempted to swing the bat, seeing what they've done with the ball.
Oh, definitely. You see the Dillons just absolutely crushing it, and you haven't even seen one that's like even hittable. Oh, you see something in the zone, you're going for it. And that one is in the dirt, and that is going to even up the count here to 2-2 for Carson Chappell. Chappell is certainly one that is also capable of some extra bases and also potentially another one over the fence. He had 4 home runs on the season, so certainly a guy that can, provide some pop in this lineup. He holds up on that one, and that brings the count to full. We've got Sage Olsen over there at first base. The score is 8-1 in favor of the Dons over the Buffaloes. We got Carson Chappell up, and the count is full here in the bottom of the 5th with 1 out. Peterson peers in. Here it comes. That is going to be high.
Riley Hess is actually at the plate now.
Riley Hess is now at the plate.
Chappell struck out swinging with the last batter.
They are able to chase him back on over to first.
Chappell recording the first out of the inning here in the bottom of the 5th, and it's a 9-hitter Hess looking to get on base for the first time today.
Yeah, he struck out in his last at bat, and in the second inning had a sacrifice bunt that moved Chappell over to second base. So we'll see what he does here on this 1-0 count.
He is 0 for 2 with a sac bunt and a walk in his 4 at-bats over the 2 games today, so he'll be looking to get his first hit.
That would be nice, be able to just get something in play here for him. All right, here comes that 1-0. And that is going to be low and outside for ball 2.
Riley Hess quickly working himself into a 2-0 count.
Still got that runner on first and Olsen. See what happens here. That is going to be strike one there to Riley Hess. Hess now on a 2-1 count here in the bottom of the fifth. Got that one out, the strikeout of Chappell. Still got Sage Olsen over there at first base. Peterson winding up here for that 2-1 pitch. Hess takes a cut at it, and looks like Olsen is able to advance to second, not only to second, but he's able to get over to third on the bad throw there by Goins. He's able to get the stolen base at second, and then the throwing error then advances him over to third base.
Hey, good job forcing the issue by Olsen. He got a great jump. He was going to be safe at second either way, depending on the throw there. And the catcher, Caden Goings, really just overthrew that ball straight into center field. And Olsen had plenty of time to be able to get over to third.
Absolutely. Now got that runner on third now with one out. Still got Hess up at the plate. Takes a hack at it, gets a little bit under it, and pops it foul behind the plate. And that is the 2-2 count there to Hess. Hess, we've got the top of the Dons order coming back up, so certainly this is one of those innings where the Dons really can just open things up, but there is another foul ball. Hess is able to get under that one, spoil that pitch.
That one almost got your car over there.
I know, I'm a little worried about that. My beautiful car does not need to have a little ding on it from a from a baseball. That would be an unfortunate casualty.
When we pulled in, it said beware of foul balls, and he said I'm going to take my chances. So
you are correct. I did.
Definitely living on the dangerous side of things here.
Yes. Now I'm wishing maybe I hadn't been so daring. All right, the count is now full here to Riley Hess. That was going to be upstairs for ball four, and Riley Hess takes the free pass, and we now have runners on the corners for Tay Newman.
We are in the bottom of the fifth inning now, so the 10-run rule does come into potential effect here, as it is 8-1. The Dons lead with a homer here potentially ending it, but definitely a long ways to go for that to happen.
Yes. We'll see what Newman can do here. Newman did get a single in his last at-bat. He did ground out on his other two at-bats, so 1 for 3 on the game thus far. Newman takes a hack at that high pitch for strike one.
Newman, the junior third baseman, has been one of the best table setters in the state this year. He's hitting .338 on the year and has really just been absolutely dominant.
Yeah, does a great job of getting on base for those big, powerful hitters in the middle of this lineup, and that ball is now in the dirt, and Hess just is able to get a nice, easy pass over there to second base. Now we've got runners at second and third here for Newman, so 2 guys now in scoring position.
A 1-1 now coming to Newman.
That is going to be high and a little bit outside there for ball 2, as Newman has now worked himself into a 2-1 count. Again, we are in the bottom of the 5th inning here. The Dons have put up 2 runs in the first, the third, the fourth, and also this inning as well. So nice consistent hitting here for the Dons, as Newman now digs back in for this 2-1 pitch.
And that pitch is fouled back, bringing the count even at 2-2. Newman with a good RBI opportunity here. Base hit, drives in 2.
You know, know he would love to do that, and then they would be inching just a little bit closer to that mercy rule. They would be up by 9 at that point. Here's the pitch. He does foul that one back. Count stays at 2-2. Dons are definitely threatening here with only one out here in the bottom of the fifth. They do have those 2 runners in scoring position with Tay Newman up here at the plate in this 2-2 count. Peterson gets ready to deliver. Here it comes. And that one is in the dirt and does get just a little bit away from Goins, but not enough to advance the runners. They stay put.
Yeah, such a short backstop at this Pineview field, much different than what we saw at the Hurricane field earlier today. So the ball really has to get away from that backstop for you to have a chance to come in from third.
Yeah, whereas in Hurricane, if it gets away even just a little bit, there's all sorts of room over there. And so there was a lot of runners advancing on wild pitches and pass balls. So here comes the full count here to Tay Newman. So he watches that one, and it is going to be strike 3. A nice pitch there by Peterson.
Yeah, nice bounce back batter there for the senior Peterson after walking the last one and kind of struggling earlier in the inning.
Yeah, he definitely needed that just to be able to inch himself a little bit closer to getting out of this potentially scary inning, as Andrew Pintar is now back up for the Dons. Andrew Pintar doubled in his last at bat in the fourth. He struck out in the second and walked in the first, but he did score in the first. As he takes that one low and in the dirt for ball 1. The Dons are definitely still threatening here. Got runners on second and third. Got Olson and Hess still aboard here with the number 2 hitter Pintar up in a 1-0 count in an 8-1 game. And that is another one that is going to be low, and that is going to be now a 2-0 count to Andrew Pintar.
Pintar with the big double, his last time up, driving in 2 runs in the 4th inning. The only non-Dillon affected runs today.
There it is. Someone's got to do it. Oh, and he takes a big hack at that one for strike 1.
Yeah, so far today it's been all Dylan Hall and Dylan Lee, but with a hit right here, Andrew Pintar could join the show.
Absolutely, absolutely. Like, he had that double in the last inning, as we talked about. So, I mean, if he can get a hit here, he'd be joining the show just as much as those other Dylans. So, make room for Andrew.
I feel like since your name is Andrew as well, I feel like you're rooting a little bit harder for him right here.
A little bit, you know. My nickname being Drew, I kind of thought of like, okay, Dylan, we'll start with D. Maybe his nickname's Drew, so it'll be just the Triple D show, you know. And that is going to be pushed foul just a little bit to the side of third base. Moving the count now to 2-2 for Andrew Pintar. Someone just completely praised my coin phrase there. Loving it. The Triple D show. Here comes the pitch. And Pintar rips that one out into center. And that is going to drop for a base hit. And sure enough, he has joined the Dylans on this particular show. That is going to plate 2 runs. And that is now going to be 10 runs here for the Spanish Fork Dons.
Yeah, big base hit right there. Drives in a couple runs, and it is now 10-1. And 4 RBIs on the day for Pintar with the 2 RBI double in the 4th inning, and then this time the 2 RBI single. So 2 really productive last 2 at bats.
Yeah, you can't script it any better than that. I mean, obviously maybe a home run, but being able to drive in 4 runs, that's a big game as the pickoff move is there. Peterson wanting to keep Pintar close there at first base. I really hope his nickname is Drew, because then that actually makes my saying work. But even if it doesn't, it's still been a very productive game there for Pintar. And Cowden is able to foul that one off, and that is going to be strike one to the big power-hitting catcher for the Dons. This is the first inning that the Dons, when they've scored, haven't scored 2 runs. They've actually doubled that, and they've scored 4 in this particular half inning. And that is a big swing there by Cowden. That is heading out to right. Right fielder is able to get under that one, and the Dons put up 4 runs in this inning. Another big offensive burst for the Spanish Fork Dons, as they are now up 10-1 over the Tooele Buffaloes, as we are heading on over to the top of the 6th inning. Thank you so much for being with us here on Spanish Fork 17.
The best time to check your furnace is before it fails, and you can rely on Triple T to do the job right. Our technicians are trained every year so you can sleep better at night, knowing your furnace is safe to operate. Call Triple T at 798-7711 to schedule your tune-up today.
Nobody plans on getting in an accident, but if it does happen, you can rely on the expertise of Mike McKell to protect and fight for your rights. Specializing in personal injury law, Mike McKell is the attorney you need. Contact Mike at McKell, Christiansen, and Wise.
And we are back on Spanish Fork 17 as we head to the top of the 6th. The Dons currently lead 10-1 over the Tooele Buffaloes in what has really been a very solid performance all around. Pitching wise, Ty Sorensen has been dominant, heading out there for his 6th inning of work now. 10 strikeouts, only 1 run. And from the bat side of things, it's been really 3 guys. Andrew Pintar with 4 RBIs, Dylan Lee and Dylan Hall with the other 6 among themselves, and they've each gone yard, and it's been a really strong all-around performance today for the Dons.
Yeah, this is exactly what they needed after the letdown in their first game against Pineview, just to be able to have some solid performances from some of their key players. Sorensen coming in here and just absolutely dealing, being able to kind of make up for those less than stellar performances by the Nielsen's in the first game.
And to lead off the top of the 6th, the pitcher, Jaden Park, not pitching anymore, but started the game as the pitcher, is now at the plate, takes the pitch, and that is another pitch low, as it is now 2-0.
A little uncharacteristic here for Sorensen. I would have expected a first pitch strike here, but see, he bounces back.
And a nice bounce back there as Jaden Park swings straight through it.
That's how to do it. Just get that ball over the plate. You let them swing at it.
And that pitch is low to bring the count to 2-1. Park on the day is 1 for 2. Singled and scored the only run. And he has worked himself a walk. We'll see if they choose to pinch run for him again. He was pinch run for back when he was pitching back in the 4th inning. But now that he is not pitching anymore, it looks like they're going to let him do his base running duties as well.
That's right. You make him run. At this point, you don't necessarily have to conserve his energy. Just let him do his base running for himself.
Peyton Shields at the plate now for Tooele.
That pitch has been absolutely solid all game for Sorensen, being able to paint that outside corner with that fastball. It's been an absolute beauty.
And a ground ball over to Newman, who throws it over to Hall at second, gets it to Dylan at first, and barely beats out the throw. Peyton Shields makes it to first, but the fielder's choice ground out for the first out of the inning here.
Yeah, great job there by Newman, able to corral that one quick, flip it on over to second. Unfortunately for them, they weren't able to get the double play there, but I think he was able to leg that one out and be able to stay safe, so avoids the double play, but still a nice, solid, all-around defensive play there for the Dons.
Yeah, good job by Newman to field that ball cleanly and get it over to Hall for the the force and to get that lead runner for the first out here in the top of the sixth. At the plate now for the Buffaloes is their most productive hitter on the day, their first baseman, Tyler Beer, who doubled back in the second and singled in the fourth, and 2 for 2 on the day.
Makes sense. This is their cleanup hitter. This is their guy. So, I mean, if they're going to get things started here against the Dons, this is going to be a key bat to keep hot to make sure that they can get out of this hole.
And that pitch gets away, and that will allow Peyton Shields to move over to second on the pass ball. Ball hit the glove. That pitch hit the glove of the Spanish Fork catcher, Josh Cowden, but he was unable to hold on to that one.
Yeah, that's usually one that Cowden gets. He's a fine catcher back there, and so to have it hit the glove and still have it get away from you, that is unfortunate. Not very like Josh Cowden to let that happen. Look out. Whew.
And that pitch hits him right up in the shoulder area. That is dangerous stuff right there. And he jogs down to first. He looks like he's going to be okay, but definitely a scary moment there for Tyler Beer.
Yeah, that is never fun, having the, as it's called in the biz, the chin music coming at you right towards the face, right towards that particular region. To have it hit his shoulder is a nice thing. It looks like Sorensen is going to be coming out of the game.
Yeah, he had a very solid outing today, pitching 5 1/3, only giving up 1 run, still responsible for Peyton Shields on second and Tyler Beer on first, but definitely the outing that the Dons needed with 10 strikeouts, minimal hits allowed. He had 3 hits allowed before this inning, and then none so far this inning with the walk and the hit by pitch. So only 3 hits allowed all game by Sorensen.
Yeah, this was exactly what the Dons needed after Cy Nielsen and Mason Nielsen. After they both kind of struggled in the previous game against Pineview, it was nice for Sorensen to be able to just come in, do his thing, get tons of strikeouts, making life easy for the defense. And so this was the kind of outing that the Dons are going to need. Not only did they need it today, but they will need these types of performances from Sorensen potentially as they go further into the playoffs. He's going to have to be that kind of second starter there after Nielsen to make sure that they can be able to make a nice deep run here in the playoffs.
And as you mentioned a moment ago, we have a new pitcher coming in for the Dons now. But before I talk about the pitcher, I'd like to remind you that we have a live game next Monday, May 14th at noon, as the Spanish Fork Lady Dons face off against the Canyon View Falcons, live from Swenson Ballpark in Spanish Fork. That is the first round of their state tournament as well. Then we will have another game later that day as well for them. So the first 2 rounds of the Spanish Fork State Tournament for the ladies will be coming up next Monday as well.
Yeah, I'm definitely excited for that game. I think that that's going to be hopefully a good one there for the Lady Dons.
And a first pitch ball from the new pitcher Mason Olson to Griff Bates, the right fielder for the Buffaloes. And that ball is ripped foul to bring the count to 1-1. As I mentioned a moment ago, Mason Olson, the new pitcher, and he has been really solid this year with an ERA of exactly 1. 3-0 is his record over 6 appearances. And in his 21 innings of work, he has only allowed 4 runs and 3 of them earned. So definitely been a dominant force on the mound for the Dons so far this year as Griff takes that pitch outside to bring the count to 2-1.
Yeah, Olson's been a very, very important pitcher for the Dons. He's one that usually comes in relief and is able to kind of close the door on the other teams, which is what they're hoping happens here in this game.
And a big cut and a miss as that brings the count even at 2-2 here with 1 out in the top of the 6th and runners on first and second. And barely barely fouled off to stay alive by Griff Bates as Mason Olson tried to drop a breaking ball in there, and he was able to just barely get his bat on that one.
That's definitely the right idea, and Olson has a devastating breaking ball. Like, to be able to have that just drop off the table like it does, Griff Bates is lucky to have even gotten a piece of that one.
And that ball is ripped, and Tay Newman is unable to make the play at third. And coming around to score for the Buffaloes, Jaden Park. The throw goes to second, and he is out trying to extend it there. But a run does come in to score for the Buffaloes as the score is now 10-2 here in the top of the sixth.
And definitely a nice effort there by Olson to be able to come in and get that first out. So let's see what he does here with our next batter here. Looks like it's Jackson Minor.
And that is a strike to Minor. Drops the breaking ball in there to get to 0-1. A little bit of a base running mistake by Griff Bates there, trying to stretch it out to second. When you're down by a ton, you really don't want to get thrown out on the bases, but just trying to make things happen down by a lot of runs.
Yeah, and it's unfortunate because you want to make sure that you still have base runners, but you also want to be able to be aggressive, and it looks like the throw wasn't necessarily going to be in a place where he was going to get thrown out at second, but it was a nice cutoff play, and they gunned him down.
And the pitch is just outside to bring the count even at 1-1. Or sorry, 1-2. And that is strike three looking to end the inning. And a nice job coming in relief by Mason Olson to get out of trouble there. One run does come in for the Buffaloes on one hit. And as we head now to the bottom of the sixth, the Dons lead 10-2.
It's been a phenomenal game for the Dons. Like, the bats have been breaking out, and then you've got Olson being able to come in here in relief of Sorensen, who had a phenomenal game. Everything just seems to be clicking on all cylinders right now for the Dons.
And it looks like we have a new pitcher coming in for the Buffaloes as well. Peterson struggled a little bit last inning, was able to get out of it, but it's no surprise that they've decided to move to a new guy. And it looks like the junior Harris is coming in to pitch for the Buffaloes. He is, in 5 games this year, he has yet to record a win or a loss, but he does have a 1.50 ERA over 4 2/3 innings pitched, giving up 1 run with 6 walks and 5 Ks. So very minimal work for Harris so far this year, but a good opportunity for the junior to get in a big situation.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. You've got an opportunity to be able to pitch in the playoffs. You definitely take it. So this will be a good experience here for Harris. Obviously, being a junior, this will give him some experience heading into next year as a senior. Give him some, opportunity to be able to face a top-tier lineup here in the Spanish Fork Dons. And so it'll be, hopefully a productive outing here for him.
And as we head to the bottom of the sixth, we'd like to take a moment to thank our sponsors for today's game: the Tony Basso Auto Group, Dickerson Automotive, Lance Wilson State Farm, Triple T Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing, Mikkel Christiansen Wise, Attorneys at Law, MVP Sports, and Two Jacks Pizza. Well, as we head to the bottom of the sixth, it is 10-2. The Buffaloes scoring 1 run there in the top of the sixth to cut the deficit from 9-8, but the Dons still definitely in control here with an inning and a half to play.
Yeah, with the Dillons coming up here in this inning, certainly they have an opportunity here to just completely close the door on the Buffaloes.
And Dalton Harris throws low for ball 1. And leading off for the Dons here in the bottom of the sixth is the right fielder today, Cy Nielsen. And that is low as well, bringing the count to 2-0 on Nielsen. Nielsen having the patient eye here with the new pitcher in the game.
Yes, and that's going to be key. If they want to be able to just go ahead and put them away, they're going to need a base runner here. And so Cy Nielsen definitely doing his work to get out on base for the Dillons to drive him in.
And another pitch high and away as the new pitcher really struggling to throw strikes here in the bottom of the sixth.
Cy Nielsen can definitely relate with him on that, as he ran into a couple of 3-0 counts in his previous outing here earlier today. But now on the hitting end of things, see if he can find something he likes.
And that is a 4-pitch walk from Dalton Harris to lead off the bottom of the sixth, and the Dons yet again have a base runner here.
A nice, good, patient approach, as you were talking about there by Cy Nielsen. He didn't look like he even wanted to swing the bat at all. It was just go ahead and let this guy go ahead and prove that he can put it over the plate. And unfortunately for Harris, he wasn't able to do that. But now we've got a runner on base here with, you guessed it, Dylan Lee up.
Yeah, the last people that the Buffaloes want to see right now are these next two hitters, the two Dillons, as the throw goes over to first and Nielsen dives back safely. This is the 4th inning today where the leadoff runner has gotten on. So 4 out of 6 they've been very productive in starting off these innings strong.
Yeah, you can say that again.
And a pitch low brings the count to 1-0 on Dylan Lee. Lee with the double in the first, homer in the third, and triple in the fifth. All he needs is the single.
That's all he needs, baby, just the single.
And that pitch is low and in the dirt, bringing the count to 2-0 on Lee. As a hitter, you got to think that Lee knows that he's a single away from the cycle. Hitting from the cycle at any level is definitely quite an accomplishment.
Yeah, it is not an easy thing to be able to get the assortment of hits that you need there and to get all the different types. And so you know that Lee is fully aware.
And that pitch is low to bring the count even at 3-0. When I was in Pony League, I played with a kid who actually ended up coming and playing here at Spanish Fork, Lincoln Rivera. And we were up by 15 to 20 runs on this team, and he had already had a single, double, and homer during the game, and he hit one, and there was no fence, and it rolled for about a mile. And he got to third base, and he just stopped. And we all just cheered and went crazy because we were so happy that he hit for the cycle. And technically, he could have ran home. He could have ran around the bases twice with how far he hit the ball, but there was no fence at this field, and so he just stopped at third so that he could hit for the cycle.
My gosh. Me being a power hitter, I'd take home. I'd be like, nah, I want the 2 home runs.
And that ball is fouled off on the 3-0 as Dylan Lee is swinging. Yeah, no, Lincoln was a power hitter himself, and he was used to hitting lots of home runs, but hitting for the cycle is definitely a special accomplishment. One of those things that you only do maybe once or twice in your life. And so while he could have ran home, he just stopped at third and waited for about 20 seconds while they went and retrieved the ball, and by the time they got it back in, he was still just standing there on third. And that ball is slammed, but it's knocked down nicely by the third baseman, who makes the throw over to second to get Cy Nielsen before he's able to get there for the fourth. And a nice play by Peyton Shields over there at third, knocking that ball down, collecting himself. Thought about going to first initially, but then realized that he had to play at second.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, he was able to get it down quick enough that, hey, might as well get the lead runner as opposed to getting the easy out over there at first. And so, yeah, great play there by the third baseman. And that's going to be the first time that Dylan Lee didn't get a base hit in this game.
And that ball was absolutely smashed. He definitely deserved another base hit, but sometimes you just hit it right at somebody. And that pitch is outside to Dylan Hall, as that is ball 1 here. Hall, the last time up, also had quite a mammoth blast with that homer out to left.
Yeah, it was an absolute thing of beauty, just an absolute laser shot that actually ended up hitting something behind and bounced back into the field of play.
And Lee dives back safely. Runner on first here in the top of the 6th with 1 out. Dons lead the Buffaloes 10-2. And that pitch is low and in the dirt to Dylan Hall, bringing the count to 2-0.
Another easy, workable hitter's count here for Dylan Hall. He's been very patient thus far. Every time it's been multiple balls so far. So he had full count 3-1 count, 2-1 count. Now we got the 2-0 count here for Dylan Hall.
And that pitch drops in there for a strike to bring the count to 2-1 now. One out here in the bottom of the sixth, and a 2-1 pitch now coming to Hall, who is 2 for 3 on the day with a mammoth 2-run homer to left back in the fifth. And that pitch is low and in the dirt, bringing the count to 3-1 now.
Dylan Hall definitely showing his patience, as I mentioned earlier. He's done a great job to work himself into good, solid hitters counts. 3-1 pitch, hey, you don't necessarily have to just swing at anything. You can be a little more selective.
And that pitch is up and away for ball 4, and that is the second walk of the inning issued by the Tooele pitcher Dalton Harris. Harris came in. This is his first inning of work. Walked Cy Nielsen to lead off the inning, and then got Dylan Lee to hit into a fielder's choice before walking the other Dylan. So he wasn't able to get through the Dylan gauntlet completely clean, but fared better than any of the other pitchers against the Dylan so far today.
Exactly. Yeah. If you can keep them in the infield, I guess, as you will. Like, you've done a decent enough job against the Dylans, as they've been just rocketing everything out into the outfield and over the fence too.
We have first and second here with one out, and Sage Olson, the designated hitter, now coming to the plate here in the bottom of the sixth. It is 10-2. The Dons lead the Buffaloes. And that pitch is ball 1 outside to Olson.
Looks like they've actually swapped back over to Josh Dart. Dart, the left-handed designated hitter. Gonna go ahead and let him get some hacks in, since they've got a right-hander up. So it looks like it's actually going to be Josh Dart. Hopefully can build off that performance that he had in the first game.
And we have a pinch runner coming in for the Dons as well. Coming in on first base now is number 26 for the Dons to pinch run.
Nice.
Another Lee.
Another Lee. Wow. All right.
Josh Dart at the plate now with the 1-0 count, and runners on first and second and one out. Pitch is low and away, bringing the count now to 2-0, as Dart has worked himself into a good count now. Dart did not start today's game, as we mentioned, being pinch hitting right now for Sage Olson, who's been the designated hitter today. But earlier today, Dart went 1 for 2 with a single and a walk.
Yeah, so definitely wants to build off that performance.
And he fouls that one back to bring the count to 2-1.
Kind of takes a little poke at that one, and didn't even really follow through on that particular swing, but he does at least spoil it away. Gets out and over the backstop, so he'll definitely be able to take some more hacks here with just the 2-1 count.
And a throw back to second from the pitcher Dalton Harris, but Dylan Lee dives back safely.
I mean, it makes sense. Definitely want to keep Lee close to the bag there. Don't want him to potentially be able to gain some steam and be able to score if Josh Dart gets a base hit here. Trying to limit the runs as much as possible.
And again, another throw over, and Lee again dives back safely. Harris doing his best to try to keep him close, as Tooele's already down 10-2 here in the bottom of the sixth.
Yeah, can't really afford any other runs.
And that pitch is outside, bringing the count to 3-1 on Josh Dart. Josh Dart really in a hitter's count here. In 18 games this year, Dart is hitting .294 with 10 hits and 12 RBIs, so very respectable on all fronts there.
Yeah, not bad at all. 294, just a little south of 300, which is a nice mark. So yeah, Dart definitely doing a nice job here this season.
And that pitch is low and in the dirt, and it gets away, and that is ball 4. And that will load the bases here with only 1 out. With the bases now loaded, that 10-run rule, that 10th run is now standing on second base.
Yeah, definitely unfortunate there for the Buffaloes. I mean, to be given a whole bunch of free passes here, kind of hurting them here. So yeah, the mercy rule definitely in play here. If they get a solid base hit here from Carson Chapel, could be curtains.
And it looks like Dalton Harris is done pitching today as he has come back into the dugout. And we'll have a new pitcher coming in for the Buffaloes. Dalton Harris will be heading out to the outfield, and coming in to take his place is one of the outfielders. No, I'm sorry. Brett Porden will be moving into the infield, and the new pitcher of record will be Jackson Miner, the shortstop. So a little switcheroo on the positions here as Jackson Miner, the shortstop, now moves onto the mound.
Yeah, making it interesting here. Obviously, Harris kind of struggled a little bit, giving up those walks and loading up the bases here. So they're gonna give Miner an opportunity to get some throws in and kind of get an opportunity to get some pitches in here, which is I guess fun for him. Being a shortstop, I imagine that he's got a pretty decent arm. So hey, why not?
And he is coming in a tough situation. Bases loaded, 1 out. Carson Chapel coming up to the plate. Chapel on the day so far walked back in the second and got hit by a pitch and scored a run in the fourth. He did have one. He did record now on a strikeout in the fifth, but 0 for 1 with a couple times reaching base.
Yeah,
other means.
A productive 0 for 1, you know, like being able to get the walk and was able to score when he got hit by the pitch. So I mean, it may not look pretty to him, but it's been a productive day nonetheless there for Carson Chapel. I know obviously he was a little eager in that last at bat, having seen, you know, those 7 straight balls in the first 2 at bats and getting hit in the second at bat. So he was kind of a little bit eager, wanting to crush the ball, and so kind of dug himself in a hole early. But
so the new pitcher, as we mentioned, Jackson Miner, has moved over from shortstop. His pitching numbers on the year: in 7 appearances, he is 1-1 with a 5.88 ERA. He has 25 innings pitched, and in those 25 innings pitched, he has 30 runs and 21 earned runs. So he's given up quite a few runs on the year, and this is a tough situation for him to come in.
Yeah, not the best season so far, but we'll see what he can do here.
And that pitch is low and in the dirt to Chapel, as the Dons lead 10-2 here in the bottom of the 6th.
Again, the temptation here for Chapel is to go ahead and swing for the fences, but honestly, all he needs is a single here, so just kind of keep it within yourself and just get a good cut on it.
And that ball is ripped out to right field, and that will drop, and that will be the game. That is an RBI double, and 3 runs will come in to score, and that will do it. 13-2, and the 10-run rule has officially come into effect. Chapel with the game-winning walk-off double, as the Dons will live to fight another day here in the state tournament.
They did what they needed to do. They came out earlier today and kind of fell flat against Pineview, but hey, this was definitely a wonderful bounce-back game for them, getting the offense rolling, getting great production from Dylan Lee, from Dylan Hall, from Andrew Pintard. Like, definitely a solid all-around game for the Dons.
Well, we'll be back in a minute to wrap up this game, but 13-2 the final here, and we'll be back in a moment on SF17.
Hi, welcome to Two Jacks Pizza.
For the best pizza you'll ever taste and our world-famous cheese sticks, come to Two Jacks Pizza on Main Street in Spanish Fork, or call us for a quick delivery. Are you hungry yet?
Come to Dickerson Automotive for all your car repair and maintenance needs. Now is a great time to make sure your car is ready for these cold winter months. We take the time to get to know you and your car to give you peace of mind. Dickerson Automotive, located way north on Main and Spanish Fork.
MVP Sports is the #1 source for sporting goods in Spanish Fork. Football, soccer, all the fall sports, we've got you covered. Check out our new custom t-shirt builder. Design at home and we'll build it for you. MVP Sports, 72 North Main in Spanish Fork.
The best time to check your furnace is before it fails, and you can rely on Triple T to do the job right. Our technicians are trained every year so you can sleep better at night, knowing your furnace is safe to operate. Call Triple T at 798-7711 to schedule your tune-up today.
Need a new car or truck? The Car Guys has the best selection of used vehicles at the best prices in Spanish Fork. The Car Guys know their automobiles to get you the best car for your needs and your budget. The Car Guys at 872 North Main in Spanish Fork.
Wild Mustangs. They're supposed to be one of the most gentle creatures in nature.
State Farm knows that for every one of those moments, there's one of these. That's why more people save money by combining their home and auto with State Farm.
Call State Farm agent Lance Wilson today.
Nobody plans on getting in an accident, but if it does happen, you can rely on the expertise of Mike McKell to protect and fight for your rights. Specializing in personal injury law, Mike McKell is the attorney you need. Contact Mike at McKell, Christiansen, and Wise.
Well, we are back here at Pineview Field here in St. George after the conclusion of our second game today in the state tournament. And it was a good one for the Dons after falling 11-1 earlier today to Pineview in the opening round of the state tournament. Dropping down into the losers bracket, they really took it to Tooele today, winning 13-2. And it was just a strong performance all around.
Oh, absolutely. To be able to have the bats come out the way that they did, being able to have Pintar with 4 RBIs, the two Dillons both with home runs, absolutely phenomenal. And then I definitely got to give a shout out to Ty Sorensen with how well he pitched today. This was exactly the type of pitching outing that the Dons needed. They needed him to come out, be impressive, be able to kind of lock down this Buffalo offense, and that is exactly what he did. Being able to get to double-digit strikeouts with 10, making it easy for the defense too. Absolutely phenomenal game. Just, as you said, phenomenal game all around for the Dons.
Yeah, they really jumped on him early. 2 runs in the first, 2 in the third, 2 more in the fourth, and then that big inning in the fifth, scoring 4, kind of really extending that lead, and then 3 more with that knockout blow from Chaplin. Just a really strong all-around performance. We'd like to remind you that this coming Monday we have a game at noon as the Lady Dons begin play in their state tournament against the Canyon View Falcons. So be sure to tune into that one as they have their first 2 rounds of the tournament then. And then also next Wednesday we'll be down here in St. George again as the Dons stayed alive and fight another day in the state tournament. We thank you for joining us. Elliot Jarvis here with Andrew LaRose and everyone in our fantastic crew for all their hard work down in St. George. And we look forward to coming to you again next Wednesday as the Dons win this one today, 13-2 over the Buffaloes.